Welcome to Rim2 Storytelling, the channel where travel becomes a memory and memories become stories. Here, we don't just show you a place, we take you with us, step by step, breath by breath, through quiet temples, busy markets, and unexpected corners of the world. We search for something deeper, something that makes us stop and say, "This is why I travel." Each episode is a journey, not just across countries, but into feelings. And today, we begin in Kyoto, Japan. If Tokyo is speed and lights, then Kyoto is silence and shadows. It's the sound of bamboo leaves in the wind, the sight of an old woman sweeping temple steps, the taste of green tea that reminds you of nothing and everything. In this story, I'll walk you through a full day in Kyoto. Just one day. We'll visit a golden temple that has burned down and risen again. Walk through streets where geishas still pass by in silence. And end our day in a bamboo forest that sounds like music. Let's begin. I arrived at Kinkaku-ji, also known as the Golden Pavilion, just after 8 a.m. The air was cool and slightly wet. Kyoto had rained during the night, and mist still floated quietly above the lake. There were no crowds yet, just the soft sound of sandals on stone paths and the chirping of birds that sounded like wind chimes. And then I saw it. A temple covered in gold. Not big, not loud, but shining like a dream. It stood beside a peaceful lake, its reflection so perfect that I couldn't tell where the temple ended and the water began. What makes Kinkaku-ji special isn't just its golden walls, it's its story. The temple was built in the 14th century by a powerful shogun. After he died, it became a Zen Buddhist temple. But in 1950, a young monk, only 22 years old, burned it to the ground. Why? Some say he was mentally ill. Others say he loved it too much and couldn't bear the idea of it aging. What stands today is a rebuild, finished in 1955. But the spirit? It feels older than time. As I walked around the lake, I stopped under a pine tree. It was bent, twisted, almost sculpted by the wind. A small sign said it was over 600 years old, planted by the temple's founder himself. I sat on a bench near the water. Around me, everything was calm. Gold, green, gray. No rush, no noise. It was a kind of silence that didn't feel empty. It felt full of memories I didn't live and stories I couldn't explain. And so I stayed there in that quiet gold until it was time to move on. My next stop was Gion, the heart of Kyoto's old soul. I walked slowly through narrow alleys paved with stone. Wooden houses stood close together, their windows covered with bamboo screens. There were no loud signs, no cars, no neon lights. Only the soft creak of wooden doors and the occasional scent of green tea and incense. Gion is known as the home of the geisha, or more correctly in Kyoto, the Geiko and Maiko. Around noon, I stopped at a small tea shop. Not fancy. Just 2 tatami mats and a kind old lady who served matcha in silence. She asked me where I was from. I told her, from far away, but here to listen. She smiled. Then you came to the right place. After tea, I continued walking, and that's when it happened. A Maiko turned the corner. Her kimono was colorful, her hair styled perfectly, her white face calm and distant. She didn't look at me. She walked past, almost floating, like a painting come alive. I didn't take a photo. I didn't speak. I just watched. In a world of selfies and fast travel, that moment felt like a gift. A quiet reminder that not everything needs to be shared. Some things are meant to be remembered only. Gion isn't a museum. It's alive. But you have to walk slowly, speak softly, and open your heart, or you'll miss it. As the afternoon sun began to fall, I took a short train ride to Arashiyama. The moment I stepped into the bamboo forest, everything changed. The light, the air, even the sound. Bamboo grew tall on both sides, hundreds of green poles reaching to the sky. Wind passed through them like a song, soft, rhythmic, full of secrets. People walked quietly, almost like they were inside a cathedral. I saw a couple holding hands, a man painting on a small canvas, a girl with her eyes closed, just listening. And then, music. A man was sitting on a bench, playing a bamboo flute. The melody floated through the forest, wrapping around the trees like silk. I stood still. For a moment, I forgot where I was. I wasn't a tourist anymore. I was just there. No camera, no plan, no future, no past. Just bamboo and wind and music. As the sun dipped behind the hills, the forest turned darker. But it wasn't scary. It felt warm, like the world was whispering, today was enough. I took one last breath of the bamboo-scented air and left the forest behind me. That was my first day in Kyoto. Just one day, and already I felt like I had stepped into a painting that could breathe. But of course, no journey ends in one day. Tomorrow, I'll visit the Fushimi Inari Shrine with its endless red gates leading into the hills, and maybe even take a train to Nara to meet the deer that bow for food. If you enjoyed this day in Kyoto, the gold, the silence, the bamboo wind, then don't miss the next chapter. Subscribe to Rim2 Storytelling. Leave a comment. Which part of Kyoto would you love to visit? I'll see you in the next story.